What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at the distance. Got a video for you guys. This one is for the upcoming bout between Ricky Burns and Michael Katsidis. Bout takes place on November the 5th in the UK, I believe. Puts together former interim lightweight champion Michael Katsidis against former WBO super featherweight champion Ricky Burns. So overall, this is an interesting bout. Ricky Burns, I believe, coming off a win over Nicky Cook. He's but also about a year ago he had a very good bout against Roman Martinez. I believe his name is Roman Martinez. He had a really good fight. Excuse me, Rocky Martinez. My bad. Had a really good fight against him. Possible fight of the year candidate. Lots of action. Ricky Burns' style, he's more so a boxer, but he's a bit athletic. He has good hand speed. Decent on his feet. Creates small angles, but pretty much doesn't have too much punching power. Only 9 knockouts and 32 victories, so he doesn't have too much punching power. But I think he's more of a boxer than anything else. Little technical, but there's some flaws fundamentally with him. On the other side, you have Michael Katsidis. We all know Michael Katsidis. He's flawed, but he's good at what he does. He's good at coming forward, walking forward, and he can walk forward with both feet. Walks forward, can fight at a fast pace, and he's looking for the knockout. He's looking to draw blood, and he'll take a few to give a few back. And he's that tough, in-your-face, smash-mouth fighter. That's the way to describe Michael Katsidis. So, what do I think about this fight? How am I going to break this one down? Ricky Burns, I'm going to start with Ricky Burns. Ricky Burns is going to have, in this fight, he's going to have to utilize a lot of lateral movement. He's going to have to throw many combinations to keep Katsidis off of him. Katsidis comes in face first, and and I was talking to Wing Chun student on Twitter a few days ago, and I said that, and my preliminary thought was, I think that Ricky Burns is going to win the fight, but I'm not throwing what I think out there just yet. But I said that Ricky Burns will probably win this fight. That was just a preliminary thought, because when I think about Katsidis is being cut. He's been cut. He has scar tissue along his face, and all Ricky Burns has to do is cut him. But does he have the power to do it? Is the question. In this fight, he's gonna have to throw combinations, and the combination that he throws is gonna have to be towards the eye of Katsidis, towards the top of the head, the top of the face. Now, the top of the hitting right in the forehead or around the top of the head, you're running the risk of breaking your hand. But also, what he can do is jab towards the gloves to make Katsidis rub his hands against his face, and that could actually cause a cut, with the scar tissue along his eyes. So I think that pretty much what he wants to do is he does want to throw jabs toward Katsidis' face, towards the gloves. Also look to try to be effective towards the body. Utilize fast, quick shots to the body, quick hooks to the body, and pretty much just create an awkward, use a lot of movement. Always be on the move against Katsidis. Always, look to try to sneak in a shot while he's throwing. Try to sneak in maybe the left hook because Katsidis is susceptible to left-handed shots. And Ricky Burns is not a left-handed fighter. He's not left-hand dominant, but I think if he can look for Katsidis' right hand, he does kind of lunge in with it. So if he does see Katsidis' right hand being thrown, he wants to kind of come underneath his right hand with the left hook, and pretty much make him a little bit leery about throwing the right hand. So I think that just throwing combinations, utilizing a lot of lateral movement, and to try to keep Katsidis off balance, I think can very well win this fight if he can stick to that type of game plan for 12 rounds. I don't think it's a fight to where he wants to get brave and stand there and fight with Katsidis. I don't think he wants to fight inside with Katsidis because he has quick hands inside. So I think this should be an outside fight. I think he should fight. I think he doesn't need to fight this at a fast pace, because if you're fighting at a fast pace, you're playing right in the Katsidis' hands. If you're fighting at a fast pace, so I just think that all he needs to do is stand on the outside, fight at a slow pace, use his jab combinations, and maybe later in the fight, don't get too brave, but kind of throw combinations and spurts. And and pretty much I think a bigger ring does benefit Ricky Burns in this kind of fight. I think we're gonna see a big ring for this fight. So pretty much I think that's really what Ricky Burns needs to do if he has a big ring. The smaller ring, the more benefits Katsidis, of course. So Michael Katsidis is a pressure fighter. He's tough. He's pretty much with him. Like as I mentioned before, he'll take a few and give a few back, or sometimes take a few and give one big one back. His style offensively, in a way, reminds me of Carl Bobo Olsen back in the early 50s. If you remember Bobo Olsen, if you ever seen him fight, if you see with him, he doesn't, early in his career, before he was fighting, way before his fight with Jose Torres. Early in his career, he had like a tight defensive guard that protected his body, kind of like what Katsidis does. Has a tight defensive guard that protects his body, and also when he threw punches, from time to time he throw that jab from out of range, but he's trying to find his way inside. That's the reason he threw his jab from out of range, and that's what Katsidis does. And then also what Bobo Olsen did was, when he got close, that's when he threw punches. He only threw punch. He kept kind of a tight guard, and he got close to you and he punched really close to you. And that's what Katsidis does. He throws punches when he's close, when he's kind of inside, when he's cut off the ring. And in this fight against Burns, he wants to cut off the ring against Burns, and he wants to come forward. Because Katsidis does know how to cut off the ring. The problem with Katsidis is sometimes he takes a lot of punches to try to get inside, and this is against an opponent who doesn't have the best punching power. So against Ricky Burns, he does want to stand in front of Ricky Burns. Also use the weak punch decoy, something that I've kind of made up over the years. The weak punch decoy for a pressure fighter is not hit the fighter as hard in the early rounds. Don't hit the fighter as hard in the early rounds, so that maybe later on in the fight, the fighter gets brave. Kind of give away rounds in the beginning by throwing punches that are not as hard as you can really throw, and then in the end tee off on them. And that's what Katsidis needs to do. I think that earlier in the fight, Katsidis does fight at a fast pace, and I think he does want to bring that fast paced style to Ricky Burns, who possibly can't even handle that fast pace. His defensive guard is very weak. Like, all he has to do is use the jab, get inside, and continuously just go to the body, go up top, mix his shots up inside. He throws very short, quick hooks inside, and as long as the fight is inside, I think it works more for Katsidis. And so pretty much that's really all Katsidis can do in this fight, is against the Ricky Burns, is come forward, get inside, and he fights with a tight defense. When he's on the outside, elbows cover the body, hands are up top. He doesn't really throw unless he's close. So that's really how you break down Katsidis' style. Aggressive pressure fighter. So anyway, who I think is going to win this fight? I'm going to go with Michael Katsidis in this fight. I think Katsidis, I think that Ricky Burns is going to have to throw a lot to keep Katsidis off of him. I don't think he has the power to really hurt Katsidis. I think if he does knock out Katsidis, it's going to be like to the body or a TKO through cuts. But I'm going to go with Michael Katsidis in this fight. I think he could probably take him out in 9 rounds. So anyway, peeps, I'm out of here. That was the distance. Peace.